Hi everybody, Todd from TS Wood and Leather. Today we're making a tiger maple and epoxy coffee table. These beautiful tiger maple slabs were locally sourced by my friends over at K&J Lumber. Kiln dried and rough sawed, we go through the usual milling process. We started with one large slab about 10 by 10 inches wide of tiger maple. It's beautiful. I had a design in my head to do lattice work with epoxy in the middle of this coffee table. It's a total experiment. It's a complete gamble, something I've never tried before, and if it doesn't work out, I just wasted this beautiful tiger maple and $300 of epoxy. I'll check in with you later in the video explaining some of the things I'm doing and the materials that I'm going to use. Till then, enjoy the video. What we have so far after cutting out all the lattice work pieces is this pattern right here. And it's kind of what I wanted, but I knew that the way I was doing it, I was not going to be able to get a true like puzzle piece tight with no gaps. I'm going to modify my design a little bit, and I'm going to intentionally put gaps on all of these. So I'm going to increase the cuts. So there's about an 1/8 inch gap on each one of the center pieces. Epoxy will fill those, and it'll be a nice contrast in between, and it'll look like individual diamonds in the center. My ghost spacers, these are Wenge spacers, and I'm using black epoxy. No matter where I put those spacers, you are not going to see them because Wenge almost disappears in the black epoxy. just about ready, almost ready to pour. I'm doing a dry fit with the slabs. I've got 8 1/8 inch gap right here, and that's going to be filled with this lattice work that I did. And that's going to go in the middle. Fingers crossed.
So it's time to mix the epoxy, and I'm using liquid glass deep cast 2 to 4 inch epoxy. This is great epoxy. It takes a while to cure. There's a short and a long curing deep pour epoxy. There's a 24-hour, and then there's this stuff, and this stuff takes about a week to fully cure, depending on the temperature. This is an exothermic. As most epoxies are, it's a chemical reaction and it creates heat. And if you pour it too deep, or if you pour it outside the temperature regime that you're supposed to, read the directions, it can go thermal. And I had that happen to me on another project. I poured it when the ambient temperature was too hot, and it ended up getting really, really hot. I mean, smoking hot, like 300 degrees hot. You could have baked cookies on it. But the epoxy just hardened within minutes. It bubbled and it boiled and it turned into this weird brain looking thing. It's a 2 to 1 ratio, so 2 parts of A, 1 part B in this case. But read your directions. I'll do 60 ounces, so I need 40 ounces of the A type. And then the B type. And I like to wait to add my dye, which in this case is going to be black, until I get it mixed. That way I can visually tell that it's done mixing. Most of these will say, at least 3 minutes of mixing time. Make sure you scrape the edges, scrape the bottom. Any unmixed epoxy will not cure. And if you don't mix it enough, it will turn into just a sloppy mess and a waste of money. I'm doing the very scientific way of adding dye by just putting a blob in there. Since this is black and I want it opaque, I just dump some in, and it will, I know from previous experience that if I put a tablespoon in a jug this size, it will be completely opaque. Here we go. No turning back now. Once this goes in, it's a done deal, and we just got to live with it. Oh, okay, fun times.
as you can see, it's a real clean process that doesn't take much cleanup at all. It makes a mess, but it gets it flat. And that's why they call it a flattening sled. There's only one spot here where there was a void where I had my hold down block. And that is not a big deal. I can fill that, and I'll fill it with clear, not with black, because if you don't match the black, it'll show up really bad. But if you do clear, it just shows the black below it, and you won't even see that when it's done. Cool. All right, flip it over, do it again. Mix up some Rubio Monocoat, and I've got my mix cup here. A little bit more. There we go.
This table will be for sale very soon on my website, tswoodandleather.com. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Love ya. See ya.